Greetings and salutations everyone, Crimson Nero here, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy. In the last episode, we restored the light to the water crystal and defeated the Kraken. Or by defeating the Kraken. In this episode, we're going to be heading off to the village of Gaia. As well as taking care of some stuff involving the Rosetta Stone that we got last time. Curious. Alright, so, let's see, Gaia... Alright. Well, first I gotta get back to the airship, so let's take care of that first. And immediately encounter enemies. Remoraz? Remote Jazz! A cultured man listens to freeform jazz. Man, there's a lot of these gigantic centipedes in the land. Found them in Mount Gog, I fought them here. I mean, yes, they were two different colors, but still, they're like giant centipedes. You know, when it comes to monsters in fantasy games, it's typically always one of two things. Either, like, some ancient evil came back and now there's monsters roaming the land. Or that, they're just naturally the inhabitants of the world. Like, they're just, like, really big animals. Like in Monster Hunter or something. Goodbye, Desert I'm Bardo. I'm Burrito. Yes, the Desert Burrito, once again. Speaking of the deserts, we will actually be coming to the desert soon enough. But first, Gaia. Because I want to access some level 7 spells. Let's see, Curaja and Diaja. Definitely gonna take Curaja. And sure, let's just throw and Diaja on there as well, why not? I mean, I probably won't use it all that much, but hey, it might be nice. Get Blizzaga, definitely, because it's one of the 3 big elemental spells, and yeah, well, you know, break. I mean, I probably won't use that either, but yeah, I mean, like, Final Fantasy, it's good to use buffs on your party, and sometimes use debuffs on the enemy, you know, things like slow. But in terms of, like, inflicting status ailments, like, not that many enemies really are affected. Or at least when I think to use them, it's always during a boss fight or something. So, and bosses are just not gonna deal with that. They're just gonna be like, oh, what's that? You're gonna try to paralyze me? Get that weak sauce out of here. I want to try to get to Melmond, because there's someone I want to talk to. There's the Chaos Shrine, don't need to go there. Where the heck is Melmond? Oh, I'm like 2 feet away from it, of course! Let's see, I need to talk to someone very specifically. No, not you. I need to find a guy with a ridiculous hairstyle. Wait a minute, that's everyone in this entire village? Well then. I mean, some people, like, the dudes have, blue hair, the ladies have green hair. Just a moment, let me see that tablet. This is the Rosetta Stone! I bought it off eBay. This means it is possible to decipher Lufinian. Yes, of course! That's what that was. It all makes sense. The word for pasta is actually mamasat. Here, allow me to express my gratitude by teaching you Lufinian. You know, teaching me an entire language over the course of a few seconds. There, now you can speak Lufinian too. Alright, apparently I know an entire language. Man, if only learning languages in the real world was that easy. It's like, oh man, I'm going on a trip to, I don't know, to South Korea. I want to learn how to speak Korean, and then like 5 seconds later, oh hey, I suddenly know Korean. Awesome. Yeah, that would actually be pretty useful, honestly. I wish I knew more languages. I mean, I spent a lot of time in school growing up learning Spanish, but then when I got to high school, I switched over to learning Chinese, Mandarin Chinese, and that lasted 4 years. I could have actually learned more Chinese in college because my college offered that, but I decided to go with other classes that would teach me different skill sets instead of just learning more about things that I already at least had some experience with. So I took up certain classes like learning how to use the 3D modeling program ZBrush and a few other things. I want to get to the village that's down there because that's Lufinia, but parking this thing is kind of difficult with all the forests around. This is a very secluded area. We haven't seen new people here in generations! It's like, well, yeah, if you didn't just leave yourself out in the middle of the forest, maybe someone might just knock on your door and just come and say hi, you know, ask for a cup of sugar, you know, the neighborly things. So recently, some of my friends and I went to go see Black Panther, and oh my gosh, that movie is fantastic, and that is a giant dinosaur, an Allosaurus. No, it's a Dedosaurus. Hey, that was terrible. But yeah, just Black Panther, oh my gosh, what a wonderful movie. I mean, it's a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, so of course it's gonna be good, but just, it hit all the right notes. Prince T'Challa was just awesome as a character. The villain was, oh man, the villains were awesome too. The supporting cast was great. Before you leave, legendary heroes, take this charm with you. It will grant you a passage into the Mirage Tower. And I have obtained the chime. I mean, we were told that, that, like, the sound of a chime or the sound of bells was echoing throughout the desert when someone went into the Mirage Tower, so, interesting. Is there a magic shop around here? I think there is. But yeah, so, Black Panther. Oh my gosh, so, just like the entire film is just so beautifully made, like the scenery, the costumes, oh my gosh, the costumes are gorgeous! Like, oh my goodness, everything's just so beautiful! Like, just the use of color, just the special effects, everything looks just absolutely breathtaking, and the fight scenes are fantastic, and now we get level 8 magic, except for we can't actually learn it because we're not high enough level, but we can get full life and flare. Oh man, this is some powerful spells. I mean, they are like the most powerful spells, but still, I want them, but I will be back later in order to get them. In the meantime, more talk about Black Panther. Just, oh my goodness. Such a good movie. I can gush about it for so long. Yeah, so Black Panther just such a wonderful movie. Like, the choreography and the fight scenes was awesome. The costume design, as I mentioned before, it's just, I can't get over it. It's just so good. The use of color in everybody's different costumes is just so good. And I know that, like, in African tribes, like colorful clothing is a mainstay of the cultures, and it's just, the film captured that very, very well. And just, heck, even the credits scene. Or not and just like the credits in general, they had so many just like bright, vibrant colors, and it was just gorgeous to look at. It was so cool. Speaking of really cool, all the characters, really, really fun. I mean, you had characters who just had like silly moments in like the heat of like really high octane action. And just the characterization, I mean, yeah, like, the things changed between the original comics and the movie, but, like, I really loved the characters in the movie. Like, everyone was just such an everyone was just so interesting, and, like, they had their own qualms to deal with about just, like, the ruling of the nation of Wakanda, and just, wow, like, I'm kind of in awe, honestly. Like, I mean, I've seen other Marvel movies, but this one was a good one. It was really well done. And the storytelling, oh my gosh. The storytelling and the fact that, like, it cuts between stuff that's happened in the past, and then what's going on in the future, and how that parallels with each other, and then, like, parallels between characters, and then, like, the fact that information is known, but then you're told more about it, and then, like, everything is so well put together, and just everything comes across in an easy, understandable way, and, like, it doesn't try to, like, bog itself down with, like, super huge, complicated backstories and mythos and stuff. Like, you know exactly what's going on, why these characters are doing what they're doing, and how they're gonna do it, and just why there's so much struggle between trying to figure out what's right and doing your own thing, and then also realizing that, hey, maybe people that we know as being held in such high regards, they can also make mistakes, and that's totally fine. People can make mistakes, and it's okay. It's just a matter of what can you do to correct those mistakes, and how are you going to forge your own path forward and help those around you. And just, oh my gosh, Black Panther is such a good movie. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It's really, really good. It's so good. It's fantastic. Yeah, all the actors that were in it did a fantastic job. It seemed like they were all having a good amount of fun with the different parts they had. There were some fun moments throughout the film, not just super serious and like, oh, this is how it's supposed to be, and we're supposed to go by the rules. Like, no. Like, each character had at least some type of moment of like some sort of like lightness to them, and that just made everyone just that much more likable. Like, certain people had like really positive outlooks on everything, and like when even like the smallest little thing happened, you were like, hey, that's pretty cool. Ooh, a Vorpal sword, nice. Yeah, actually, when it comes to Vorpal swords, at least in Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, I'm not sure about other editions, if you get a critical hit with a Vorpal sword, it automatically decapitates an enemy, the enemy that you hit. So, that's kinda crazy. And also, I'm petrified. Well, that's fantastic. I mean, when you're fighting against 6 different Medusas, I mean, yeah. Someone's probably gonna get petrified. And level ups for everybody except for me. An Aegis shield and some money. Nice. Luckily, we have Stona. Man, Sam and I do not have that much MP, honestly. We're only in the double digits. Meanwhile, Jacqueline and Cyrus are just like, boom, we have multiple hundreds of I have magic points. Check this out. Like, I'm sorry, just Sam and I aren't as proficient in using magic as of quite yet. Very sharp crescent blade. You know, we're fighting Black Knights here, but these guys do not look anything like anything at all like the dude from Monty Python. That is also, Monty Python and the Holy Grail is also a really good movie. I remember when we showed one of my friends that movie for the first time, and it was actually really funny to see his reactions to it. Because, like, there was a long time, like, I don't know, in the, mid to late 2000s, where, like, the first decade of the millennium, where just Monty Python jokes, especially from, the Holy Grail, were just all over the place. You saw people just constantly quoting the Black Knight and different just funny things from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I mean, you had, like, the Knights of Ni, you had the Black Knight, you had, witty banter from, King Arthur and the different knights. There's also the dude on the mountaintop who, warns everyone about the rabbit. Maybe I just gave a little bit away when it comes to that, but, I mean, it's a little bit of an older movie, but, like, if you haven't seen it, like, first off, why not? And second off, just go do it. It's a really fun time. Let's see if Quake does anything. And it missed. See, that's the thing about Final Fantasy, is like, if it isn't a buff to your party or a super damaging spell that's like an elemental spell, it's probably just not even gonna work most of the time. And I like it when buffs and debuffs and status ailments are, like, useful in RPGs. Especially if you have, like, some sort of weapon that allows you to inflict a status ailments. Like some sort of, I don't know, like a poison sword that inflicts, like, poison as a status ailment as well as just normal damage. Man, Cyrus, I did not give you too many spells. There are still some open slots I could fill up with you. Maybe we'll address that in the future. Let's see if death does anything. Hey, there we go, it worked. Man, look at all those crystals we have in our possession. They're all so bright and shiny. Lovely colors. And immediately into an encounter with chimeras. Just fusing together a bunch of different animals because, you know, that's totally cool. It's not. Yeah, chimeras and manticores were kind of like big symbols in alchemy. Also the lion, because the lion that eats the sun is also a really big element. Also guardians, so, you know, robots. Yeah, you thought that that all the like the sci-fi elements of Final Fantasy came in later installments like Final Fantasy VI and Final Fantasy VII. Oh no, 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 no. It started here in the first game. There are robots here. Then again, we actually talked to a robot in order to get the warp cube, which we actually need a little bit further on in the Mirage Tower. So I guess we've already dealt. I guess we've already dealt with a bit of the science fiction elements, as well as the fact that we have an airship. And vampires! We also have vampires! Wait a minute. Your palette is different than the vampire boss that we fought all that long time ago. Well, clearly you're not that much tougher than the actual boss. Especially because we are stronger now. We are stronger. Heck, I mean, our levels are in the 30s. We're pretty much good to go for most of the rest of the game. I mean, hey, I actually said that I probably wouldn't use Diaja, but hey, I just, you know, I thought I'd just throw it in there. Why not? Show the glory of the power of sunlight. Praise the sun! Speaking of praising the sun, From Software. Doing some good stuff, guys. I mean, the Soul series and Bloodborne, all good stuff, and we're eagerly awaiting Dark Souls Remastered, as well as whatever the secret project you're working on. What was it, like Shadows Die Twice or something? Whatever the unofficial like tagline is. I don't know if that's like the title of the game or if that's just like a little hint towards something. I don't know. But hey, I'm excited. And more Guardians! And now all I can think of is the Gate Guardian from Yu-Gi-Oh! And the Paradox Brothers. You know they're in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, right? Yeah, if you wanted to play Yu-Gi-Oh! On the go and don't necessarily want all the cards, well hey, there's a mobile game for it now. And it's also available on Steam. Plus it's free. Well, it's free to play, I should say. Yeah, we're kind of getting a bunch of, like, revivals or, kind of like soft reboots in certain franchises. Wait a minute. Shouldn't you dogs be over in Mount Gog? Wow, that was a lot of damage coming from a wizard staff. Hey, Sam leveled up, Jacqueline leveled up, Cyrus leveled up, nice. You know, I was expecting to be gaining a lot less levels towards the end of the game, but I don't know. Yeah, actually, Final Fantasy does a pretty good, at least in the later versions of the game, Final Fantasy does a pretty good job of constantly progressing your level. Like, you don't have to do too much grinding, it's just the fact that you just need to, like, fight everything that you come across in the field. Which I guess is why the encounter rate is so high. Oh my gosh, look at all this treasure! So many rewards that I'm totally gonna steal off this ancient civilization. Yes, an ancient civilization that also had, you know, robots. You know, ancient technology! That's like some Breath of the Wild stuff right there. It's like, oh hey, by the way, we basically have, oh my gosh. These enemies are called Guardians. The enemies in Zelda are called Guardians, and they're both, like, types of robots. It all comes together. Except for it doesn't. I mean, hey, Link in Soul Calibur 2 is already kind of crazy enough as it is. I mean, it'd be cool to have Link in Final Fantasy, but that's definitely not gonna happen. Ooh, a Sunblade, and we got Thor's Hammer, too. We got some Dragon Mail? Oh my gosh! Look at all this stuff! Oh yeah, see, speaking of Sunblades, so... there's a specific way that Sunblades look in Final Fantasy. I think there's like a very distinct one from Final Fantasy 12? I want to say 12. And there's also, in Dungeons & Dragons, there is in fact a Sun Sword, or like a Sunblade or something, which basically is just the hilt of the sword, and then it just suddenly, when you activate it, it just suddenly materializes an entire blade of just concentrated light. So basically you get a lightsaber, so that's really awesome! Hey man, I like Star Wars too. Yeah, that's also another franchise that it's like, yes, we have this takes place in a galaxy far, far away in a time long, long ago, and yet they still have way more advanced technology than our current world has. But hey, you know, the powers of fantasy. You know, Diage is actually getting a bit more love than I thought I would actually be giving it. Like, I thought I wasn't even going to use this, like, ever, but actually, there's a lot more undead enemies that in the later parts of the game after the Lich than I thought there would be. Considering I keep on running into vampires here. Let's see, we've seen alchemical beasts, we've seen vampires, we've seen robots, we've seen dudes in black armor. There's just a cornucopia of enemies around this place. So apparently, this ancient civilization in the Mirage, that has to do with the Mirage Tower, not only has really strong technological advancements, but they also are vampires. Not actually, they're just I don't know what they were coming up with when it came to designing Final Fantasy. They were just like, hey, let's make a role-playing game because this is the last shot that we have, basically. So let's just try to make something that's really good. And considering that Dragon Quest had seen such big success over in Japan, like the year prior, I mean, Square decided, hey, we appreciate Western RPGs. Let's make something kind of similar and that's inspired by that, and also that is also inspired by Dragon Quest. Yeah, this floor definitely kind of winds around a lot. Our friend left on a journey to the west! A journey to the west, you say? He took the warp cube and went to see our master! Your master, huh? Your master! Master! Master of Robots is pulling the strings? Wait, what? I don't think that's how that Metallica song went. That's because it's Master of Puppets. I really like Master of Puppets. I enjoy that song quite a bit. Especially the bridge in the middle, the somber bridge. Like that, those guitar riffs are, sound really good. Be smited by the power of the sun and also Thor's hammer. We got a lightsaber, Thor's hammer, Mjolnir. We got a dude flinging fireballs at everybody, and we have a dude with a giant neon green sword. And that is a blue dragon! Oh boy! Okay, not too much damage. And 2 hits and it's dead. Okay. Use the warp cube to travel beyond the sky. It will take you to the flying fortress. And we're off! So we got teleported from the top of a tower that is on the land to a giant flying fortress in the sky. Yes, here we are in the Flying Fortress, the last of the 4 Elemental Fiend dungeons of the game. But we're gonna save that for next time on Let's Play Final Fantasy. I'm Nero, thank you very much for watching this episode, and until next time everyone, fare thee well.